Hey everyone, welcome back to the Music Matters Night podcast. I'm your host Brian. Joining me today is a special guest, and I don't know which part of the world you're hanging from yet, but we'll get to that in just a second. But we want to welcome to the podcast Moreno Skindevil. How you doing, brother?
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for having me. I appreciate that.
No worries. And I guess we'll go ahead and cover it. Which part of the world are you hailing from?
I'm actually from Europe and Austria. We're like neighbor countries with Germany. But some people confuse Austria with Australia.
It's only like a three-letter difference, so yeah, you can see why. So
Yeah.
that's what you mean. I've actually been to Austria a couple times, and actually I've interviewed. Do you know the indie group Faceless Objects?
No, no.
They're also based out of Austria too. And are you close to Vienna, or are you more in the
I
rural
live in
countryside?
Vienna.
Do you?
I live in Vienna. Yeah.
Pretty cool. I guess how you been recently? What's new?
Not much, just chilling, relaxing.
I was gonna say smoking a little joint right there because your glasses are kind of giving it away at this point.
Really? Damn.
I thought that was or maybe not. I thought it was meant to be leaves or something.
Well, let's say edibles, yeah.
Edibles. Oh, okay. Sorry, I was getting confused with weed, so I don't know. You guys smoke it. I don't know what y'all do, so I stay clear of that. I'm not much of a smoker. But I'll get you a drink. So
Oh, no, I have a Jack Daniels anytime.
on the rocks or just
On the rocks, of course, on the rocks.
on the rocks?
I mean,
Oh man, I like it. So all right. So what's new today? You do any new music recently?
I was now recording. Well, it was not recorded, but I think it was like 2 weeks ago. I was recording a song. It's more like a horrorcore type genre that I was working on. Yeah, like the theme. What we were doing was about Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
You the horror fanatic
crazy.
too.
Oh, I love horror movies. Nazi fans.
Oh, you're horrible. So I can see. All right, that's all cool. You got to elaborate on your music in just a little bit here, but Moreno, I just want to welcome you to my podcast right here. And the way this is going to work is, just ask you some questions. Let's get to know you more, both as the individual and also as the musician. So, you all ready for this?
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right. So start with the first one here. I'll start with you in general. I guess, who are you? How did you become a musician?
Well, I'm Moreno, as you can hear, and Skindevil was like my alter ego. He gives you sometimes a weird combo, Slim Shady vibes, or Bizarre from D12. If you know who that guy is, it's the fat dude with the shower cap. Um, how did I get to inspire? Well, I was inspired by Coolio, and then after that, D12, Tech Nine, all these rappers inspired me to do music myself. So I did like almost 20 years ago. My first rhyme, I was starting to rhyme about this cat stuck in the hat, and those nursery rhymes, and then slowly more mature themes. I mean, yeah, that's how I started to do rap songs. So I was writing a lot. And back then, with me and my brother, we used to record it on a tape, and we would like rap over on this instrumental beat. So that was our style. Oh, it was crazy.
Dr. Seuss was the real OG back in the day. It wasn't
Yeah.
Notorious B.I.G. or anything like that. So,
Oh, of course, Tupac and I listened to everyone, even to Vanilla Ice. God damn it! I know I'm ashamed.
no, you're totally fine too. I do know about Tupac a little bit too, but I do know about D12. I didn't listen to too much of D12, plus I didn't know he was a fat guy with a shower cap. So, but, actually, I thought you referred to like Fat Joe at first. Something like, oh, I can see that. So,
Oh, I like Fat Joe too. The Terror Squad, Big Pun, and also rest in peace to Big L. I don't know if you know him.
I think I heard the name. I'm not too
I
familiar
think
with.
just his famous song was "Put It On."
I do know a little bit because I remember a friend of mine had introduced me to 50 Cent. He had Eminem, and I do remember Lil Kiki for a little bit. And that was because he had like all these artists come together. It was like
Lil Kiki.
Pitbull, yeah. Yeah, Pitbull. We had
Pitbull.
Paul
Oh yeah,
Wall, Fat
Pitbull.
Joe, Rick Ross. I mean, he pretty much had all. Lil Wayne. I mean,
Oh,
he had it all in this like just one song, and I mean that was killer back in the day. So let's say,
oh.
sadly, I'm more of a metalhead at heart, but I do know some rap. But I always say rap is for the clubs. You go down, party at the club.
Nah, man. It's only when you listen to party rap songs, but there's also the horrorcore, like the death metal rap. I don't know if you heard that. Like Necro is really famous for doing that type of songs, horrorcore rap songs. Well, you never get them listened to mainstream because they have really, really violent lyrics.
They pretty much just
Like I don't
like
know.
Cannibal Corpse. If Cannibal Corpse and I guess whichever rapper you want to say had a baby, that's what you end up with. So
Yeah,
let's see it.
yeah.
Nobody wants
Um,
to talk about hacked up bodies or anything like that too, let alone
like
necrophilia.
yeah, like Twisted Insane really raps about body corpses and how he has sex with those things. It's crazy. That's why he's called Twisted Insane, but he's also a very fast rapper. But he makes horrorcore, and um, you never listen to this type of songs in the radio.
How did you find out about this music? Did you just stumble upon it by accident one day and be like, what was that? That was awesome. Was that how it was?
No, it was actually when I was watching horror movies, I was like, it cannot be that only rock, because when horror music, mostly rock, there's always a rock music into it, like metal or alternative rock, and I was like thinking there must be also a genre, I mean, a rap part of it, a rap version of it too. So I was digging deeper when I listened to Eminem's second album, the Marshall Mathers LP. It had some horrorcore vibes, especially the song Amityville. It has this reference from Friday the 13th and from the Amityville murders. So then I dig deeper. Then I stumbled on ICP, Isham, Brother Lin Chung, and I was like, hell yeah, this is violent as fuck. I love it. It's very gory. It's like basically watching a horror movie just in a rap version, but more, let's say more brutal and more gory and more violent.
You get to visualize it, get to see it on the screen, not like a B-rated horror movie. This is, I think most people describe it.
Well, Twisted Insane has a music video where he dressed up as a security guard and then he rapes a girl who is only 18, and she like screams, and man, it was crazy, man. And she is like possessed like that, and wow, I was like really into it.
Yeah, that's kind of fucked up, to be honest too. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty fucked up. Actually, I could say I was just gonna say it was in one of those rated R sort of B-rated horror movies. So yeah, I could see why.
I mean, I've watched even Serbia. I don't know if you're familiar with this horror movie. It's very disturbing, and it has a double R rated.
The adult version, or I guess is what they want to call it.
No, it's not. It's not porn. It's like you can see. They say that you can see how humans can be if there are not those laws are there. Like if there's no restrictions, you have no idea what kind of animalistic mind a human being can have towards other people if they have those dark inner hatred and agony, suffering, like really brutal.
Which one movie was that? Did you say Serbia?
Yeah, Serbia. Yeah.
Serbia. Actually, I was thinking of how The Purge was in a way too, because there was almost like one whole night people just go out there and just do all sorts of violent crimes. Yeah. So yeah. So
I
it's kind of along those lines too.
I like only the first one with Ethan Hawke.
I didn't watch it too because I wasn't sure. I was thinking like, not really crazy about it. So
really, I mean, it was okay for the time it was released. I'm not bugging.
I think I had the right idea, but I think just trying to deliver it. I think that's always been Hollywood and pretty much any sort of horror movie made in the U.S. particularly. They don't really know how to deliver maybe a good climax.
You think so?
Right action. That's just me. I mean, I think everybody else will tell you like, oh, this movie was badass, and it's probably a movie that got like mixed reviews or something like that. Because sometimes even movies that like did poorly at the box office, there's people who say like, "Oh, I really dug that movie." So I mean, maybe it happens.
Oh, okay. But
It varies by people.
what kind of horror movies are from what country are better executed in your opinion?
I think it was a lot of the older ones because I think I was looking at Scream, for instance, the little ghost face. And then,
The first one?
I would say the first one, yeah. I think the other ones
Okay.
maybe a little okay, but I think they would just kind of keep hammering along with the same characters that were from the first movie. They just kept bringing them back. It was because apparently someone was jealous. I don't know. It always kept varying here and there, but it seemed to get a little weird afterwards. Actually, the one I really liked was the first one from Saw.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, Saw is a classic, definitely.
It's definitely the right
like
premise in terms of like what meaning is in your life if you're just a violent criminal, for instance, or fraudster or anything like that. So I thought that was pretty genius, is like utilizing that sort of theme into a horror movie.
Yeah.
So
I absolutely agree with you. Absolutely.
I think Nightmare on Elm Street. I think maybe the very first one. So
Now, come on, the other two parts were good as well.
Really?
The Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, I dug the second. I dug the third one. I think the fourth and the fifth were a little bit convoluted, but I enjoyed it for what it was. Especially the dug deeper by Freddy's backstory that he had a daughter and he killed his wife, strangled her, I guess.
some dark stuff, that's for sure. So I could say. Actually.
Yeah, because you only get alluded in the first one that he was just killing children in their dreams. So on that particular part, they, let's say, explored more about his backstory and how it all happened and how he was as twisted boy since he was a boy, because I don't know if you remember the scene where it was a hamster when he was in the school and he kind of, I think he slapped it to death.
I don't know about that. Actually, I haven't watched a whole lot of horror movies recently. I think the last one might have been The Hills Have Eyes. That was
the remake or the original?
I think it was a remake. So yeah, it was the remake that they did in the early 2000s.
Yeah, okay, the early 2000s. Yeah, okay. It was good too.
Got a little over the top, to be honest, too, especially. And then it was the guy who just blew his head off with a shotgun.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
That's what movies are meant to do. You'd be like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? So.
Yeah. I was more worried about the baby.
Yeah. Well, that's true, yeah. I mean, he was getting out of gun pointing at him.
And the dog.
Like, oh, they killed the dog. They killed the dog. Although the other one survived. The other one survived. So that's all good. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Actually, who introduced you to music? Was it one of your parents?
Did
one of your parents introduce you to music, like say classic rock or anything else?
No, it was when I, back in the day, you had to watch MTV to get music. And like I said, Coolio, Gangsta's Paradise was played a lot during that time. And I didn't know at that time because I was like 5 or 6 when it came out. But it stuck in my head and I vibed to that music. And as I got older, like Eminem used to came on the scene with My Name Is, Dr. Dre, with Still Dre in 2001. So, and then I dug deeper that I had to learn that rap also had a subgenre. Like there's hardcore rap, alternative rap, emo rap, horrorcore rap. So, gangster rap is what we see mostly on mainstream. That they talk about guns, bitches, and hoes, and club party songs, which you're saying. But if you dug deeper, then you have also conscious rap. They rap about, what's happening in the street, and it's not good to be that violent. If there's a solution, we can, be there for the community, stick together, and this type of songs. And of course, also, I was listening also to reggae music. I like to listen also when I, lay back and chill.
Yeah, reggae was always the one that always wanted to make you chill. Actually, the reason I asked too is because I know my parents realized when I was listening to death metal, for instance, have to be one of the bands was called Dying Fetus. So unfortunately,
Wow.
they're looking at me funny at first, be like, "What are you listening to here, boy?" So, and I was like,
Really?
"Hey, it's just metal. I mean, it's just metal. That's all it is." Don't mean anything by it, but I think they just wanted to deliberately offensive. That's what they wanted to do. To show like, "Hey, we mean business. That's how it goes." So
Wow.
I
So
guess
how's the metal scene? Because I know in hip hop there's a lot of mainstream and underground. Are you guys the same as We Flow, or is it a little bit different, or you stick together no matter? Because I heard that people have some metal fans don't like Marilyn Manson.
it varies a little bit too, but I think for the most part, everyone tries to stick together. But you get a lot of the
Okay.
bands that came out in the '90s and maybe even the
Yeah.
late '80s, and they're still touring. They're still doing music to this day. So I mean, they were the ones. They were the progenitors. I think I pronounced it right. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing the word wrong, but okay, they were the makers in this case. Let's use that. They were the creators
Okay.
of the death metal scene that you know today.
Okay.
So
Okay.
sorry, my English is
Okay.
falling apart here because of COVID. So,
Hey, no stress.
but anyway, you still had those ones, and some people still kept the formula. I mean, you still get some good bands these days. So,
Okay.
I mean, I listen to a lot of music from like the radio station Liquid Metal. So that tells me like a lot of like new music that comes out from like different bands. I don't know if they like
Okay.
signed per se or whether they're like still indie musicians or anything like that. But hey, I get to hear new music and I get to decide, hey, if it sounds badass, I might listen to it.
And
So,
and it's badass.
yep, that's all. That's all that matters. So I'd say it still
True.
holds up, but I think the rap scene, it's they still fall back to the Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and all those big shots who like came out and they're still rapping to this day, really.
Yeah, but the rap fans are like, I like the old, no, old music was better than the music that they create now. And I hear that, especially in the hip hop scene. So that's why I was asking if it's the same in the metal scene as well, or is it just hip hop thing?
I think they'll branch out, but I think they'll still hold a lot of like the old bands in their hearts like, as number one per se. So
Also, they do hold their old bands.
yeah,
Yeah.
oh absolutely.
So
I
it's
mean, you got
basically
to
the same.
the forefathers, yeah, got to.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess speaking of your music, I guess let's go ahead and talk about it a little bit too. I guess so. You go
Yeah.
through all this horror genre and finally find the perfect equation for, I guess, Moreno
Let's
Skindevil.
just balance it out.
Yeah. So I guess when did it start? Let's get the little history lesson about it.
My album. So when I released it, it was last summer on July 14th. And I was amazed by how good it received because I was a little bit worried because there are some songs, if you are very offensive, please do not listen and please don't sue me. I don't have the fucking money to get a lawyer. Um, but I can give you a ride if you want to. But yeah, I was but surprisingly, that song did really well. And I was like, okay, so where is this cancel culture coming from? So why is there always, this, you have to be careful what you say or else you're going to get canceled and stuff like that. And sometimes I do music like to see the people's reaction because I like to troll. I like to troll a lot. So then, of course, I have songs which had very deep messaging, especially the Corona time back in 2020 when, the business had to shut down. I mean, the small businesses. I'm not talking about Apple or Amazon because they can, if they make minuses, they don't care. They can still go through. But, like small shops, business ventures had to go down. And this song is called Revolution, and Revolution did also pretty well. It got played in the US a couple of times in an indie radio, so I was very surprised. And of course, I also dug deep about my depression, about my loss, about my addiction on drugs, and all that type of stuff. So yeah, so it's a very personal album.
I see. I'm sorry to hear that too, but let's jump into COVID real briefly, I guess. How bad did COVID impact you, your family, and music-wise?
Well, during the COVID, my grandma died. So I even in that song, I also made a song to her about her, and it was the darkest year of my life, I gotta say, because I was isolated from the world. My dog died that year. My grandmother died. Um, my kids got taken away by my ex-girlfriend. I mean, my ex-wife. So it was a dark place for me, and I was like really depressed. I got hooked on drugs very hard. I started drink a lot, smoke a lot, and with smoke I don't mean weed. It was very different. I was popping pills, meth that I was smoking. I was ready, to go. I wanted to, take my life away because I didn't feel to live anymore. I was like done, like really done. But then suddenly, I don't know what happened. Changed my mind. Like I did not give up on myself. So I stayed focused. I was like every emotion that I felt, I was writing it down on the paper. I still use paper. I don't write it on phone. Um, so I wrote it down, but I was still drinking. Like I remember, I was drinking the white rum pure, and I was so drunk that some of the lyrics that I wrote, I don't remember. How the hell did I do that?
It was a extraterrestrial sort of experience, if we wanted to call it that. Kind of demonic possession, if we wanted to say. Yeah. So.
Something like that. Like I was like a space cadet.
Yeah, I can see. So I guess how you been recently? Are you sobered up a little bit?
Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm much better, in a better place thanks to my girlfriend. She helps me a lot. Let's say I'm in a right. I'm going the right path. Now I'm more focused on doing music, working a lot of stuff, performances. And by end of this month, I'm performing again. So yeah, it's much better.
That's good to hear. It's good to see you made it through there, mate. It's a dark story too about how some people hit rock bottom because of COVID, or maybe before that too. But it's good to see you got up and heading in the right direction. So good to have you along for the ride here, buddy. So,
no, thank you.
I guess, how's the music scene been in Vienna? Because when I was talking with Ella and Mike from Faceless Objects that I mentioned earlier, they said it seems like the music scene all around Austria has slowly died, and it seems COVID kind of accelerated it too. So I guess, is it the same kind of scenario?
Yep, still is like that. You have to understand that the scene in Austria, the music scene, is not as big or as open market as in the US, And the problem here is also what I see or face is like people are not really sticking out for you. They get more envy or jealous if you have let's say, a better rhyme scheme or a better rhyme pattern as they do. Or if you make some dark humor, or, you make a little offensive. But don't worry, I'm not like Tom McDonald. I'm not like him. I just like to troll. But the music scene is really, really dying to hear. So basically, I try to, with my friend, I try to, revive it or push it up a little bit. And I also have a manager. She usually only manages death metal bands, but she made for me an exception because, I met her through Facebook and we were just chatting, and then I met her in a coffee shop where you cannot smoke weed in Austria. It is what it is. It's Starbucks. So, and we talked together about the project, like let's get together some rap groups or rock bands and let them perform, because we see that most people in the club, they don't give the chance for those bands, indie bands, and we decided to always make a little like a show or a gig for them so they can let's say expand their music or expand their audiences. So we try to revive it as good as we can.
I guess if you toured in around Austria, or you just also try to sneak up to some of the neighboring countries?
No, I was not touring around Austria, not yet, but we are planning to, because now we are playing with the sponsoring that they will sponsor us, but I'm not quite sure if the deal what they offer is going through or not, because now we're trying to negotiate again. So, but it is what it is. It takes time, and I can wait.
Yeah, that's for sure. I guess in some of your music too, I guess, what other artists do you bring on to? Do you bring in some friends to also help with doing some of your music as well?
Well, you mean like whom I featured on my album?
Yeah,
is that
on that, I guess. Yeah. Do they also help in terms of like helping making the music? Like, do they say, whenever you're trying to like put it together in terms of like compressing, mixing, mastering, or anything like that, do they help out?
Yeah, sure. They help out. They help a lot. I have a producer. Well, it's not a producer, studio guy who mix and masters my music, and he really does a great job, because the feedback was what I was getting, that not only that the songs are great, but they also said it is very fresh and clean how it's mixed and mastered. So, and of course, yeah, we were also on some online magazines in the UK. So yeah, it does help. And I don't know if you're familiar with rappers, but I have some rappers featured on my album. Like there was the guy, his name is Pace One. He's featured with me, and he was the guy who was the member of the Outsiders with Eminem. I don't know if you remember that. It was in the early 90s, before D12. Eminem was in the group Outsiders.
I should not know that. So, as I like to say, you always learn something new. You always learn something new with these interviews. So, yeah.
Wow. I know it because, once you dig in hip hop, you know that, oh, this guy was there first and he started there first. So, yeah.
I mean, I watched little bits of 8 Mile, which is kind of talked about Eminem's life a little bit. So,
yeah, but, Eminem said itself, 8 Mile is just a movie.
Yeah. Still looked like a good movie, though. So, I will say that.
It is a good movie. Yeah, sure, definitely.
Actually, the one that's always funny with me is the Ice-T. Whenever he was, because the first time I saw him, he was on Law and Order, SVU. I didn't know that he was part of Body Count, which is that rap metal.
You didn't know?
I didn't know at the time.
Every rapper knows that.
It came later, and I was like, holy shit, that was Ice-T. It's Ice motherfucking T, man. So
yeah, Cop Killer with Body Count.
Oh man, actually, I remember talking about it too. Pretty graphic, to say the least. Actually, he did do like a couple covers. He did like Slayer's Rain and Blood. And he also did Cannibal Corpse's I Come Blood. So
yeah.
Funny guy.
Very, very cool dude. Very chill dude. I remember when I was posting an album of his from Body Count, I think he immediately gave a shout out to me.
Actually, I always remember it was on Loudwire, and they do what's called Wikipedia Fact or Fiction on like famous people.
Okay.
And the whole time he's just saying "fuck Wikipedia." So he's a funny guy. I love Ice-T. So let's keep him around for a good while. Actually, another funny story was, I guess he took something that had like a lot of fiber. I have to look up the story again because I brought it up in a different interview, but he had to like just really go to the bathroom, and it was a day that he had like a live concert. So the whole time, maybe for like a couple songs, he's just trying to hold it in. He can't jump around, do like all that stuff that he probably would normally do. So he just tells the drummer and the guitar player, just play a solo, just do something to keep the audience preoccupied while I go relieve myself. He describes the experience. He describes his experience in the Poor Johns like chocolate Niagara Falls. So,
whoa, damn!
It's a funny story. You could tell he had to really use the bathroom in that case. There's always something. He always finds some funny stories.
Ice-T, man. He's like the Mike Tyson of rap.
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty
Actually,
much.
I do remember the story. Actually, I forget what the story was, but it was he did it with Lemmy too, and he did a little collaboration with Lemmy. Was Born to Raise Hell.
I think I remember that.
I forget who else was on it too, but he didn't really do much. He just kind of say maybe a couple lines here and there, but it was fun to be a part of it with the legend Lemmy Kilmister. So,
Well, he still makes good records. What can I say?
yeah, that's for sure. I guess speaking of that too, I guess who would you consider has been your biggest influence on your music?
Oh, like I said, my biggest influences were D12, Coolio, Dre, 50, Tupac, Biggie, and don't forget the Wu-Tang, especially Old Dirty Bastard. I don't know if you're familiar with his name.
No, I'm not. Sorry.
Okay. Well, he was the crazy guy from from the Wu-Tang, from the Wu-Tang clan. That got, unfortunately, died of a drug overdose around 2003. But he was a very funny dude. And I don't know, and a lot of horrorcore rappers. Like I said, Necro is also one of my influences. He influenced me a lot about death rap. So it's like really, yeah.
It was a experience to say the least. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And
oh yeah,
just trying to figure out too, because I'm losing my train of thought right now. I'm trying not to think over it, but I guess going into this one right here, I guess talk about the gear that you use too. So you got your own little studio. I can't tell if it's an apartment or whether you got your own little house somewhere. So what kind of gear do you have?
Nah, I'm renting. I'm renting the studio. I'm renting it. I'm renting it, and then you're in the studio. You're, vibing with the guy. He can also give you some advices if you're not sure, because when you record, when you write down a song, it's gonna be executed very differently when you start recording it. Maybe you take the O a little bit slower or the O louder. Sometimes you wanna. Sometimes you create your own character within your own character, if you know what I'm trying to say. Like, for example, I told you that Skindevil is my crazy side, but I can also be the Bob from the woods, or Billy
like
Ray Cyrus.
Actually, I was going to say something about like a DC sort of persona too. You got your human identity, then you got the superhero identity.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, something like that. And when I write those rhymes down, it never occurred to me, but suddenly when you're in the studio or when I'm in the studio, it pops up like damn. Maybe I should do like that. Or maybe I should rap like another character, or maybe I should rap like an old man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, give me back my pills. Well, sit down, or I will come and beat your ass with your butt belt. You know what I'm saying? So this is what I do. It was crazy, yeah.
I was like, we gotta get off my lawn there, kid.
Get off my lawn, I'm gonna shoot your black ass.
Oh, you try a southern accent though?
Yeah, because I saw many southern movies,
Yeah. No, I'd say like a southern accent, be like, yo, get off my lawn, boy. Something like that.
Oh yeah, because Paul Wall used to say like that too. Oh no, not Paul Wall. What is this other guy name? Bubba Sparks. Yeah.
Bubba Sparks.
Remember him?
Fuck. No. I mean,
no.
There's too many artists in the world there too, and I'm also expanding my audience here too. Plus, also thanks for reaching out. So that's the thing. So it's a good thing with indie artists reaching out as well. So I want to give a shout out there first off. So no, I actually never heard of Bubba Sparks. I recently started getting into like Juicy J because a friend of mine introduced me to him, and he said he had yeah. Well, he said he had OD'd in an airport because they found out he had all these drugs just trying to smuggle it past security and everything too, and he just said fuck it. He just took it all right there and OD'd. So
wow.
I mean, not really a way to go out too, but I mean at that point he's saying like I'm already in trouble, so if probably gonna go to prison for a good while too, because I don't know what he's carrying, but it's almost like, why would you think going through an airport with all those drugs was a good idea? So I don't know. May rest in peace, unless.
Yeah, rest in peace. Unless it was not drugs, but it was like his medicine, but not prescripted.
I mean,
with no prescriptions. I mean,
you think a doctor slip? I mean, could have been.
There's also a possibility.
I forget the story. I have to ask my friend again. What was the story behind it too? So it was just more of he just OD because he didn't want to get caught. So I mean, that's what happens. So don't do drugs, kids.
No, don't do it. Leave it to me and leave it to me.
Leave it to you. I will survive. I will survive.
I will survive. Exactly.
That's for sure. And actually, speaking of the superhero double persona, I guess, were you real big into like Superman, Batman, like all those ones? Is that why you wanted to do like a dual identity?
Yeah, but because of the Marvel comics that I used to read back in the days, not to today's Marvel, of course, to back in the day when Spider-Man was Spider-Man.
When Spider-Man was very tragic, to say the least. Yeah, they always.
But he was a loner, He never was fitting in no one. He was more like a lonely guy.
I think there was that, but I think they always like did like alternate histories where like instead of Uncle Ben dying, it would be Aunt May, and then I think maybe changes like a little bit like here and there, or it was like maybe the school bully ended up becoming Spider-Man, and Peter Parker was just the writer. So, it's kind of a little strange, but I can see why. Actually, I think I remember. Do you know the band Mudvayne by any chance?
Yeah.
So I think when they used to do like the whole makeup back then, I think they were even describing it behind the scenes when they were talking about Dig, for instance. They said they like to do the makeup because it's like disassociation from, I guess how did he put it? I was going to say maybe more from like the human self, for instance, case. It's no longer Matt. It's now this nickname too. So it's almost like you went to the telephone booth and you just came out with all the makeup on. Now you're somebody else entirely. So would you say it's kind of along those lines, or you think you just say like, hey, I'm Moreno?
Moreno, no, because I was bullied by my skin color. And when I checked out, Moreno is Spanish word for brown, because I'm brown skinned. So that's how I try to take the negative and make it into a positive.
I see. I'm sorry to hear that too.
Hey, it is what it is.
I was going to say, was that a rough childhood?
Yeah, I had a very rough childhood. Very rough.
I'm sorry to hear that, but it's good to see you are doing well. So,
yeah, I'm trying my best not to make those mistakes, what my parents did. So, yeah, that's why I make music and let my emotion flow.
Yeah. I guess let's go and jump into the music a little bit too, I guess. First off, when you're creating a song, do you normally always write the lyrics first and then do the music, or vice versa?
Vice versa. Sometimes I have something on my mind, I write it down, and when I get the beat, I'm like, okay, that fits perfect. Or when I get the beat, and then I'm thinking about it, and then I write it down, like, this makes sense. So it's, vice versa.
And I know you kind of touched on it a little bit too in terms of your lyrics, but I guess, is it everything that's gone on in your personal life, or do you also, because I think the song Pedo, right? I guess who we talking about in that one?
Okay. So remember there was this whole, I think it was also during the COVID, I guess, when we were in the lockdown, and there was this huge Pizzagate thing. I don't know if you remember that. And I used to watch from Isaac Cappy. He was an actor, and he said in the intro of the Pedo, you can hear his voice. That's his voice, and he said that Steven Spielberg is pedophile and this and that. And at first I was like, okay, maybe this guy is trolling. Maybe he just wants to get fame. But as soon as the signs were coming in, and he even got death threats, and the way he died too, it didn't make any sense. It was like, damn. And even Tom Hanks, because he used to attack Tom Hanks too, that he's a pedo. And the way Tom Hanks was posting it, on Instagram that Isaac will die before he died. It was really weird and strange. And by the way, I did also research because on Netflix, they released a movie. I think what was that? Where little kids were twerking, like underage girls were twerking, and I was like, who the hell will watch this movie? And then I saw so many YouTubers, older guys who were saying, "Oh no, I'm getting horny. I know I shouldn't be, but I'm getting horny." And I was like, "What the hell? Those girls are just 12 or 11. What does it make you horny? I don't get it." And that's what ultimately I created a song. It's like attacking them, and Hollywood is also known for those kind of actions as well. Because let's be honest, now you have Nickelodeon shutting down because Dan Snyder was, filming underage girls like Ariana Grande when she was 12. He was filming her feet, naked feet, and she did some really disturbing things what only an adult would do. So it was crazy. So Hollywood is generally crazy.
You're telling me. God almighty. Yeah, whatever next. And actually, that Pizzagate thing, that was the whole thing they're saying at the bottom of the pizza shop. It was a pedophile ring. Was that what the story was?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I do remember a friend might tell me that. And for some reason, I think they were saying way back in the day it was because Obama was perhaps a part of it, our original U.S. president. I'm not sure why. I mean, it's just freaky. You don't know about these conspiracy theories, and it's kind of scary when you think about it too.
I'm always like, yeah, it's a conspiracy, but there's also somewhere truth behind it, because where the hell did they come from, and why is it every child actor who acts when they're little and when they're grown they'll like become druggies or alcoholics or they want to kill themselves? Why is it that they must have suffered some trauma? And I remember I also watched documentary how parents sell their kids to Hollywood executive producers just to get a quick buck, and yeah, it's crazy and weird. And I feel like some artists, like for us rappers, or let's say not only rappers, like musicians, we should also push this topic. We should also tell about it, that there is this dark side and we should keep our children safe from it. Don't sell your kids to those kind of producers. I don't care how many millions of checks you will get, but we have to keep the children safe because they're our future. Because when I die, they become the next, and we should really keep them safe. We cannot traumatize them or destroy their feelings and everything. I don't think that's right. And we are accountable and we are obligated to do something about it. So that's why I released a song called Pedo. So people will see, okay, that's brutal, that's harsh, but I get where he's coming from.
Yeah. I guess out of all the songs you have released so far, I guess, is there one that stands out as your favorite?
I like all of them.
All the above. So yeah.
My favorite song, I don't know, because every song has their own special place in my heart, especially the sad ones. But if I would pick out, My Girls would be my favorite song. It's about my daughters.
Good, man. All right. Thanks so much, man. Good song too. So I guess
really?
Yep.
Liked it.
I listened to a couple because actually I think I had like 20 or so songs. I think like it's already late night. And I mean, because I worked a second job, I didn't get home till like 10 o'clock. So I had to finish like film or editing a podcast episode I did this week. And then I had to like, okay, let's get a little study in so I know what this guy is like. And listened to a couple, and it was a good choice. And also a very good choice of words too. So
thank you. I
should do 2 thumbs up. That's how they used to always do it in terms of the reviews for Hollywood. So
yeah.
Actually, I think it's sometimes even the commercials too. Whenever they finally like release movies onto like DVDs or anything, it'd be like 2 thumbs way up. So,
oh yeah.
So
those
cheesy.
Commercials in the early 2000s when those commercials were really in. trendy.
Yeah, and it was kind of getting like a little overused if we want to think of a word. Yeah, so hey, it's funny nowadays too, but even still, I think nowadays they just kind of show like the words if it's like Oscar nominated or Academy Awards winning or something like that too. They'll just highlight it along the bottom, so you can see why.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's jump into this question right here too. So, what sort of challenges do you face being a musician? Because it seems like throughout this interview, you kind of talked about how you hit rock bottom, kind of like the divorce, you had drugs, alcohol problems, even maybe an existential crisis as well too. So, I guess what challenges do you face today being a musician?
Money.
Oh yeah.
Money, especially when they're trying to copyright claim your stuff, or even though you paid for it, for a big amount of money, and they're trying to, let's say, okay, not only money, but let's say like the algorithms, they are really, it's tough. From YouTube, Spotify, and stuff like that.
You say marketing and time constraints are also issues as well?
Sometimes, yeah.
I guess, so do you work multiple jobs, or is music like strictly your only job?
No. I have some other jobs as well. Like I'm doing like security. I'm working as a security guard and was sometimes working as a receptionist as well. So, yeah.
I see. That's pretty cool.
But music is sometimes challenging. I gotta give that.
Yeah. I see. Actually, are you part of the Facebook group Band Together?
Band Together? I think so. Did I do something wrong, or am I banned?
No. Why? What happened?
No. Just asking. No. It was.
No. I was just. I wanted to ask if you were a part of it, and because actually the way it worked, and just to fill the audience in, Moreno here had actually reached out to me, and he wanted to get to share his music and backstory as well. But I wasn't sure because a lot of people I've reached out to, they're all part of this Facebook group, Band Together. So, and I just wanted to know if you were part of it too. And then you also share your music on there. And I guess, is there something you hope to achieve with your social media?
Oh, okay. No. I am in the group, but I wasn't like on Facebook. I'm very, very not always posting much, So when I post mostly my stuff, it's mostly on Instagram or TikTok. Yes, I know I got a TikTok video as well, a TikTok account. So this is where I post my stuff. But I got recommended on Bands Together because I saw a comment that I think he even marked you. And he wrote your name, and I was like, okay, his name is Brian. I will check him out. And I checked you out. And that's how I came to reach out for you.
All right. And the rest is history at this point. So
the rest
is there something, I was going to say, is there something you hope to achieve with your social media? Do you hope to maybe be an influencer, or you just maybe?
Nah. I'm just, I know I have to use social media to, get maybe broader audiences, or I get more people to listen to my music, but I'm not planning to be an influencer or any type of that. I just want to make music as long as I can, as long as I don't need to sit on a wheelchair, and maybe I will live through 70.
Well, somehow make it past 70. So actually I was going to say, as long as there's air in these lungs, I will continue to make music. So.
Exactly. So no matter if I get famous or not, I don't want to be famous, but I just do it for myself and for the people who really feel my music, and that's it.
Absolutely. And I guess for those musicians in that Facebook group, and really any musicians in general, I guess what advice would you give to them?
What advice I would give to them is don't listen to filthy, blood-sucking managers. Some managers, they just want to suck you dry and leave politics out of your music, because because some people think that I'm right-winged, but I'm not. I'm an open guy, but I just got my own, I just want to say what I want to say, and, I respect everyone's choices. I don't give a hell what you are or what you want to be. As long as you don't harm children, I don't really care what you do behind those closed doors.
Fair enough. Yeah. All right. Actually, he was trying to refrain from using the cuss words too, because I thought you were going to drop the F-bomb or the S word. So.
No, I'm not doing it because I don't want you to get banned or something,
Nah, I think it's still First Amendment rights too. In fact, I was actually talking with a beautiful Scar last week, and hey, I dropped a few cuss words here and there too, but obviously it was just kind of making fun of maybe some people like Quentin Tarantino, because I guess he had met him at a barn because he lives out in California.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess he was being really jerk to Jeremy and some of his friends, which is really unfortunate because of like how big and how well he does in Hollywood as a director and everything.
Okay.
So it's sad, really. But you're all right about the managers being the vampires of society, if we want to call it that.
Yeah. And just do your music for yourself. Trust me, you'll get further when instead of relying on them,
I guess in terms of the studio that you're a part of, I guess, did you mention how you found out about the studio? Was it through Facebook? Was that what you were talking about earlier?
Yeah, it was through Facebook.
Okay, just want to make sure. And I guess you got any new music coming out? You want to do any music promotions right now?
Working, recording. Yeah, I have a new music coming out maybe late April. It's with a German rapper that I'm featured, and I also released 1 week ago a love song with a Russian singer. So it's more about distance relationship.
This Russian singer, did she kind of move out of Russia after the whole Ukraine war kind of broke out?
Nah, I met her through not through Facebook, through Instagram. She lives there, and the thing is, we don't really talk about that. I don't want her to be in an uncomfortable situation because I know the rules are different where she lives. She lives in Krasnodar. I don't know if you're familiar. It's in Russia, a small town. So we just keep talking about. That's what I mean. Keep the politics out. Just, we're all humans, no matter what color you are, what language you talk, or what pronouns you have. At the end of the day, we're all humans. And that's what I care. If your character is right, if you have a good character, and if you're a great, let's say, fine individual, I really don't care what your politics are or whatever, or what your pronouns are.
Keep an open mind. This is the biggest one we want to share with everybody here. So, all right, fair enough. So I guess let's see where we're at in terms of questions. Bruce, you're pretty good. So I guess let's jump into the fun ones, right?
All right, the tough ones. Give it to me. And
I guess let's start. Let's give it to you. Give it to me. Give it to me. So yeah. Actually, yeah. Let's start with this one too. This one wasn't part of the list, but I know you're a big horror fanatic too. But I guess which one would you say is your favorite horror movie?
Wow, that's tough. That is crazy because I like Hellraiser too. I don't know if you know what's his name? Pinhead. Yeah. My favorite horror movie. Gosh, I go with Friday the 13th. Jason Voorhees all the time.
Is that the original one or like is it a remake one?
No. I mean the original 8, 9 parts. What was like, I don't know if you remember Jason in Manhattan, even though Manhattan, he's only for a couple of minutes there.
No, not too familiar with that. I think I remember reading a little bit about it because I think that's when slasher films really started taking off too, even though they may not get like the best reviews, but I think people were interested enough to at least go see what it was like. So they spent a good amount of money.
I think it had a bad movie critic when it came out in that time. But I really enjoyed it, so fuck the critics.
Fuck them critics. We don't need those stinking critics. Yeah.
What the fuck are they thinking about criticizing Jason Voorhees, my boy?
They'll come to your house and it'll hit you so hard it'll feel like you kissed a freight train. Send you flying.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I think that was the hilarious part in Freddy versus Jason. I think there was this black girl. She was like taunting Freddy, and Jason's just standing behind her. He just whacks her. She just goes flying.
Yeah, whacks her up. Damn. And even the bed scene, the sex scene when Jason, clamps the bed together where the dude dies. First he stabs him and then pushed the bed together. Do you remember the scene from Freddy was Jason?
It starts to come to me now. I think he was just laying by himself and his girl just went in the bathroom.
Yeah, his girls went to the bathroom. Damn, that was also wow. Or the scene where Freddy was this high caterpillar, the CGI caterpillar, when they were smoking with this stoner dude, and at the hospital. Do you remember the scene? Yeah, Freddy vs. Jason is very memorable. I love that.
Yeah, it was meant to be more action oriented. I don't think it was like scary. It was just more like, what the fuck, man?
It was more action and slasher type of movie.
I do have to admit, I actually did a Halloween song, Iron Maiden's "Fear the Dark," and every time during the chorus, I put a little clip from like more of the well-known horror movies. So one had Nightmare on Elm Street. The other one was, I forget which Friday the 13th it was. I don't know if it was the first or second one. But it's one where he's chasing this girl during a storm, and he's kind of chasing her in and around. Try to and check it out too. But I also included Wolfman, Ghostface, and one was Evil Dead 2, I think. But the Evil Dead 2 really worked out too, because you're just seeing him running. It's nighttime. You don't know what's chasing him. I mean, it was just absolutely perfect.
Nice.
I still laugh every time I see it because it was just like, oh man, that was just so perfect. I put it in the right spot and everything. So
yeah.
But getting back into fun questions, I guess. What would you consider is your favorite food?
你好嘛，Chinese.
Oh, you're a Chinese guy. Actually, I thought you were gonna say sushi.
Nah, sushi is Japanese. That's not good.
Yep. Not too crazy about it, but yeah. Actually, how is the Chinese food in your neck of the woods too? Is it more of your similar, just throw it in a bowl and just butter it and fry it?
Yeah, just like that.
I mean, you got to in this case.
And I don't know if you know, they also sell those ramen noodles. Do you have that in the US as well? Where you just, boil the water and then put it in the cup?
Actually, I was like, put the lime in the coconut, mix it all up.
Yeah.
I'm sure we do. I don't know if they sell it in any of my local stores, but I'm pretty sure we do. I just don't know which store they sell it in. So,
you guys got the Kmart. Come on.
We got Walmart. I got Shop and Save. And
why do I say Kmart? I don't know.
Actually, I've always still had a Kmart. I don't know if we still do. I don't know if those are running out of business yet or not. But hey, I'm pretty sure Walmart probably would have it. I think you have to dig for it because I don't think it's one that just like stands out. And right when you walk down alley, you'd be like, oh, ramen noodles. So.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I like Chinese food very much, and of course, I'm also half Indian, so I enjoy Indian food as well.
I see. Actually, what sort of Chinese food are you really into? You more like General Tso's, or is it like chicken fried rice?
Chicken fried rice. I like them a lot. I don't know why.
Normally what I did with mine was if you take the rice, it also makes like General Tso's in it too. It will stick to it, so you get like nice, you want to call it rice balls, you can just call it that. So a nice blend.
I even have
instant noodle.
Yeah, Chinese.
Made in China. So
made in China. I hope not.
Well, because
now I've seen some documents that they create more artificial food, like the beef is fake and the swine is fake. Like really, they made out of, I don't know, paper. And we're like, damn, this is what they eat in China.
I mean, hey, the government runs the show over there too. You really can't really say much about it. So, hey, it works. It works. I mean, people buy it and eat it. So it's almost like, what's your point?
Well, they got the flavor. Yeah, you're right.
That's all you need. Just flavor. It's edible. We'll take it.
Exactly.
Sadly. Okay.
Sadly, yeah, sadly. But it is what it is.
Yep. Open your eyes, people. We're eating artificial flavors. So there you go.
Yeah. Be careful what you eat.
Yep. So in terms of movies, I guess, outside of horror movies, do you have like favorite action, comedy, romantic movie you're really into?
Romantic. Well, the only romantic movie I liked was Titanic.
It was still good. Still a good movie, but yeah.
It's a good movie, but outside of horror movies, I like action movies. But the thing is, today I'm not watching what's now coming out, but back in the early 80s, early 90s, early 2000s, I really loved watching, let's say, old type genre movies, whether it's sci-fi, fantasy, horror, action, thriller, whatever. I loved watching it. I remember I watched Wall Street. I don't know if you remember, with Charlie Sheen and Michael Douglas. Like, well, it was how they, how you can corrupt those, what you call that when they pay those, no, when the stock markets are falling down, and they kind of showed how they can manipulate it so it can rise up again and then collect all the money from the bankers. Oh, it was very, very great movie. Pulp Fiction, I'm pretty sad that you said that Quentin Tarantino is an asshole, but I heard that a lot, that in real life he's the greatest jerk and a loser. But I like his movies. What can I say? He makes good movies. Like Pulp Fiction is one of the first movie I saw from him, and then From Dusk Till Dawn, with George Clooney and himself. He was like playing the disturbing brother. I don't know if you remember that.
Nah, I was more into Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction. I think I've seen like bits and pieces like Inglourious Bastards and Kill Bill. So,
Volume 1 or 2? Kill Bill.
I think it was a little bit of both. I think I've seen I don't know if they happened with the second one too. I think the first one also included her training with that, I don't want to say Chinese guy, because I think he hated the Chinese, which was kind of funny, but the Japanese master, or whoever it was, the master. Was the Japanese
master, yeah. Because in the second part is Lucy Liu is playing the villain.
Yeah, actually, I do remember that. Yeah, she fighted Lucy Liu. I think her sword cut the top of her head off.
Yeah, so, yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Nasty stuff. So, and shame is a jerk too.
A lot of feet scenes as well.
Yeah, it's a shame that he is a jerk too, because man, he definitely knows how to deliver with each movie he does. So it all goes to the head. Unfortunately, it all goes to the head. So don't be famous, people. It really goes to your head. That's the unfortunate thing.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna be a jerk. Yeah. That's true. Like I said, I watched many other movies like Predator, Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, because he's an Austrian like myself. Of course, I had to watch all of his movies, like even the early days when he played on the Terminator as the bad guy on the first part Terminator, not the second. Conan the Barbar. Conan, what else he was playing? He played in a lot of movies like Eraser and stuff like that. Red Heat, where he played a Russian. So, yeah. But I enjoyed also Al Pacino movies. Scarface, of course, we all know that. The Godfather, And of course, as a rapper, you also like to watch hood movies. So I know also many good hood movies like Boys in the Hood, Friday, Next Friday. I don't know if you're familiar with those movies. 8 Mile.
8 Mile. I didn't watch Straight Outta Compton, but I did see a lot of the marketing for it. It did look like a good movie. So it talked about NWA and all those guys.
Mm.
So, Nah, not too much in terms of the Hood movies. I might actually, Boys in the Hood. I think I've heard about it, not seen it, so at least familiarized with it.
Check it out. It's very good. It's a very good movie. It talks more about gang violence in certain from South Central LA. So, and you can see Ice Cube. This was his first acting career from Ice Cube. So you can tell that he really went into it, like he was really passionate about it to be an actor. And I never thought that he will become a big actor like he is now today.
Yeah. God bless him too. So seems to be doing a good bit, even though I don't know what he's been doing recently. Because I think last time I was seeing him like mess around those Coors Light commercials. It's like comparing like how the can goes like ice cold, for instance, because the mountain on it goes cold blue whenever it does that.
Wow.
Yeah. In terms of dark blue, we should see.
Lately, I don't think that he's doing much, but I think he's going against the Hollywood elites, and I think now his roles are being very minimal. Into bare minimum, I guess. So yeah,
we cannot challenge the gods. They'll minimize you.
He's more like an activist, as he makes maybe a couple of songs there, or a couple of movies, but it's not that as big as it was back in the days, or when he did 21 Jump Street.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Did you grow up during the times of Toonami and some of the anime that came out?
Toonami? Like, you mean like what happened over there? Like the
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z, you had Sailor Moon, Reboot, what was another one? Gundam Wing.
Japanese anime, of course I was there. Of course. Rest in peace, Akira Toriyama. Yeah, I was there. In Europe, it was like that. Well, in Vienna, Austria, they first showed Dragon Ball, and as a kid, I was confused because in Hungary, they all had stickers from Dragon Ball Z. And in Austria, I was just in Dragon Ball. And then I said, okay, is this the fake version? And because I liked Dragon Ball Z as a kid more because of those muscles and those Saiyans, Super Saiyans, blonde colored. And then I realized that the Dragon Ball Z, when I was older, it was just a sequel to the Dragon Ball. So I was glad that I watched the original Dragon Ball, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. So I loved Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, and I have also a special heart for Dragon Ball GT as well.
I actually remember watching. But yeah, I was actually going to say Dragon Ball GT. I remember I had a couple of friends over. They kept wanting to turn the TV off for some reason. And they're like, "What are you doing? I'm watching an episode here. It's 10 o'clock. I don't get a chance to watch this." I don't know if it was weekly. I think it was a weekly thing they always did for Toonami-wise. I don't think it was like every day. It might have been every day at one point. Then it went to weekly or something. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
But
I think it was weekly. Toonami was, I think, releasing it on air weekly. But I remember also on Cartoon Network, they used to air Dragon Ball Z too in very late nights, around 10 p.m. or something like that.
First, show the young kids all the blood and all the punches and everything that's being thrown. Yeah.
Exactly. So, yeah, I was at that time. It was a special time because I watched Pokemon, Digimon, Beyblade was really strange, but kind of loved it. Yeah, it was a good time to be a kid during the 90s. I gotta tell you that.
Yeah, you're telling me. I remember also the Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon that you had mentioned about as well when they used to do like some of the kick-ass shows. Dexter's Laboratory, you had Ed and Eddie.
Ed and Eddie, yeah, I remember. Powerpuff Girls with Mojo Jojo. Oh, this is me, Mojo Jojo. Or do you remember Freakazoid?
Freakazoid, yeah. I didn't watch that too much, but I remember seeing a couple episodes. Yeah.
Too, but I loved it. Or Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a nice blend to it too. His name is Courage, but he has to be cowardly.
Yeah, the stupid dog. You always make me look bad.
Yeah. He just freaks out, walks away.
Yeah, he freaks out, walks away. That was so crazy. But at the end of the day, he's the one who saves.
I'm the one that saved your ass there, jackass. So
yeah.
I can see why. And Akira Toriyama, may he rest in peace. So
Yeah.
absolutely. Actually, he came out of nowhere too, and he was only 68. And I was like, well, this guy would live forever, especially because I think they said that they were going to do another 10 years of Dragon Ball because they're now doing like Dragon Ball Super.
I really don't like Super. I have my reasons, but I respect the work what he's doing. But now he also said that Super he was not really involved. He only made some designs because now we saw the trailer, or it was last year. No, it was in early this year. We saw the trailer for Dragon Ball Daima, and Akira Toriyama said that he worked on that more than on Super. And that's why Dragon Ball Super got canceled for some reason. The anime, not the manga. The manga is still running, but the anime is canceled because they put the budget more into Daima. And I saw the trailer. I don't know if you saw that, where they get turned into kids again, just like in GT.
We use the Dragon Balls to wish them all into kids again. So whatever next. Actually, I think the problem was with Super, it was beating a dead horse. Because they always got these bad guys that were always somehow a little bit better than them. And they just get a new form. So.
And not only that, it's canon breaking. It's convoluted. They made the Saiyans look like wuss. I'm sorry. Bardock was a Saiyan warrior race, and not this what they presented on the Broly movie. I was really like, I just walked out to the cinema and I got my money back, thankfully, or else I would have sued them. It was not my thing.
It was that bad.
It was that bad because once you as a kid, you lived through Dragon Ball Z, okay, GT. I remember they decanonized it, and that's why they made Super. But to me, like I said, I have a special heart and a special place for GT, so nobody can take that away from me. But when you get the lore and you watch, how everything made up, and even I remember when Raditz, the scene when Goku's brother came first time, he even told to Goku that his name is Kakarot, and the Saiyan race are conquerors. They conquer other worlds and they sell it to other, who gives them more, money or something like that. And that's also what Vegeta said when he came with Nappa, and when Super came out, they really, retconned it. Like, nah, I'm not vibing with Super. And those strange colored transformation, that didn't make sense either. Super Saiyan Blue, Rose, and whatever.
We do the colors of the rainbow next before you know it. So
yeah. That's why I like Super Saiyan 4 in GT much more, because it made more sense, the transformation, because it also goes back to the roots, to their monkey form, to the Ozaru form. So that's why I lean towards GT more than to Super. But I guess, they made it. And it's also what I miss on Super is you don't have those bloody fights like in the Z days and even in the Dragon Ball days. Hell, GT got more bloodier fights.
Yeah, I can see what you mean too. The good old days, sadly, are well behind us at this point. So hopefully we can try to do something.
Yeah. Bygone era.
Hopefully we try to bring it back. Let's bring it back. Let's bring back the old Dragon Ball Z. So see what happens.
Yeah, but Z is really a masterpiece.
That is true, yeah. And it actually influenced generations like, say, One Piece and all those other ones too.
Yeah, One Piece. Monkey D. Luffy.
Yeah.
Luffy. He's funny.
Yeah. I kind of lost interest with One Piece for some reason because...
You too? Yeah, same.
I was watching it for a little while, and then all of a sudden I was like, I'm just not digging it anymore. I don't know. It just seemed to get a little old after a while.
Dragging it too long. They're dragging it. I don't know how many seasons it has, but let's say it's stayed more than, it should be. I don't know. It should end. Like honestly, there needs to end it now. He needs to find a treasure. I mean, come on. How how long do you want to drag it out? But I know what's the reason behind it. It's always the money, and you got to stretch it out if your pocket goes deep.
I think there was a situation. It happened quite by accident. Was because he introduced these warlords, for instance. I think it was the 7 warlords. And
Yeah.
I think the story was when he introduced those, they were not originally meant to be in the script. So when he added them in, it was like, oh shit, now we got to expand it. So
that's why they did that.
yeah, I think it's a story. I think that's what happened. It's probably just a fan speculation too, but I mean, it makes sense because now you got to cover each one of these warlords and be like, oh, we got to kick their ass, and then we got to take whatever object it is that they're hiding or something like that.
Yeah. Now it makes sense why they drag it out so long.
Yeah. So I'll leave it up to you, but you can check it out too. So now for next fun questions here. First off, have you been sober for a good while, or have you drank moderately since?
No, I'm sober. I don't drink. The only time when I drink is just when I celebrate my birthday or my girlfriend's birthday, but it is just a glass of champagne or a red wine. So I stopped drinking beer. I stopped drinking Jack Daniels. I mean, I love Jack Daniels, but I had to stop drinking it because it can get you very weird.
Yeah, I can say what.
If you drink too much. If you
can't drink too much. Yeah.
It, then you're somewhere else.
Yeah, that's for sure too. Actually, would you say Jack Daniels is your favorite alcoholic drink, and then what's your favorite non-alcoholic drink?
Water. I stick to water.
Was it no Mountain Dew, no Coke, or anything like that?
Back in the days, I used to drink Mountain Dew, Coke, but it's all sugary, too much sugar. And, if you drink all those beverages, you can, it can lead you to obesity. So water is, I know it's not sweet, but it's more healthy. And as older you get, you take care of your health more than in your younger days.
Yeah, that's for sure too. All right. And how long have you been sober?
1 year.
Congratulations, mate. Hats off to you. No worries. Good job. And for lots of fun questions right here, outside of your music, I guess, what is currently your favorite song or a song you've been listening to a good bit recently?
My favorite song, what I'm listening to recently. Okay, recently I listened to Hobson. I don't know if you know his name. He's an underground rapper, but he really makes dope music. Bella Ciao, I think, was the last time I listened to his song. Bella Ciao, 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 something like that. It was sampled from an Italian song, but he, sampled it into a rap song. So, yeah.
You can pull inspiration just from anywhere, like even like an old Italian song or.
I watched Money Heist, I guess was the series called. It was like a Spanish series on Netflix. And that's the first time I heard that song. And then through Hobson, I recognized it because, I know this song from Money Heist.
I don't know if it's just strictly heist, because there's a whole lot of movies that kind of deal like heist and stuff like that too. So I'm not too sure. So not just me though, because I keep thinking like Ocean's 11 every time I think about anything with Money Heist. Because I do remember watching the movie. I actually thought it was at least decent 1, 2.
No, it was a series. Yeah, season 1 and 2, but it had like 5, I guess. It had 5 seasons. And my girlfriend introduced me to that series because she was already half through, and she asked me if I want to watch it, and I was like, yeah, sure, why not? But then I have to watch it from the beginning. And she said, okay, let's watch it. And I was really hooked by it. And yeah. But I gotta say, the fourth season and the fifth season, they really dragged it out a little bit too long.
Mm.
Yeah. So sadly,
Yeah.
but the first two seasons they were absolutely great.
I guess there's one thing, he stumbled near the finish line. Probably should have finished after season 3. So
Yeah. Sadly.
Yeah.
Did you also watch Squid Game?
I've heard about it, and no, I have not. So I don't know. It seems like a little bit of a mixed bag at times.
I would recommend you to watch it. It's really, really a great series. It digs really deeper into human psychology, especially what humans are capable of doing when they get the money, or they will get the price, because the price tag is like, I don't know, now I'm counting in dollars, like 200 million or $250 million is the price. And you see what people are capable to do, or you see also how his best friend is changing into a monster because of the money, because he's in a big debt. The police are searching him, so it really drives into human psychology. It's like mixed with horror, thriller, and action.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. Normally, ones that normally delve into the psychology side of it, or it's like wrestling with morality or anything like that, those are normally your best movies. That's what I always like to say.
But I also gotta tell you, spoiler alert: the Americans are assholes. The Americans are portrayed as the bad guys, and the Koreans are the good guys. Just if you don't
We're the
want
ones who introduced capitalism too, so I think we're the monsters in the suits and ties, we like to say.
Yeah, but they are coming in suits and ties, which is really crazy.
I mean, what you expect? It's no longer kings. I mean, we can't dress up like how we would in the old English style with the wigs and everything. So,
yeah, right,
So.
right.
Hey, I'll check it out whenever I get a chance to. Even though I've been pretty boring, I've not done a whole lot with like movies or TV shows recently. So, let's see.
Well, this is already like 2 years old, because I think it came around 2019, 3 years ago. So,
Something
but
like
it's
that.
a good watch. It's a good watch. I would really recommend you to watch it.
All right.
You
I'll
won't
let
get
you do it. I hope I don't despair because of how they portray capitalism or anything like that. So we'll see what happens.
Well, yeah, like I said, if it does not offend you, you can take it.
Oh, I think everything's right for parody in this case. So, I mean, everything's got a dark side whenever you think about it.
That's true. That's true.
All right. So, Moreno, we're down to one more question right now. Boy, we talked for a good bit here. Before we jump into it, did you have any questions for me or any final words you want to say before we jump into it?
No, I'm pretty good. Yeah, I have a question. How many artists do you interview? Like, is it like, are there artists coming to you directly, strictly like daily, monthly, or weekly, or is it just like you just set a date like you did with me and that's it?
The way it works in terms of like reaching out to artists, I'd say first off, you reached out to me, so that was one nice thing that helped out as well. Sometimes they will reach out directly. Other times I'm reaching out to them and be like, hey, I want to invite you on my podcast. And I always like to ask like what sort of time zone they're in first. So if they live in the States, I can make it work maybe during a weekday. Otherwise, if it's like overseas, in our case right here, it's best to do it on a weekend because of the time difference and everything too. So
yeah. Wow. Did you also interview rappers before?
I've interviewed actually a couple. I forget who the first one was, but there was one out of the UK, Trusk. You know his name?
Trusk?
Yeah.
Okay. Not familiar.
There was him, and then there was QT Louie. He's more hip hop.
Okay.
And C-Mac. C-Mac out of the US as well.
C-Mac. Sounds like a crip.
No, I don't know if I don't know how the hairstyle was in terms of Crips or anything too, but no, he actually lives in the state of Tennessee. Cool dude. Very cool dude.
My bad.
No. Even though it might sound like it's one of those names from like the West Coast, for instance, no. It's just one of those things that works in terms of his name too. So
okay.
You see where it comes from. So yeah, I've interviewed some rappers, not a whole lot, So
Okay. I hope it all went well. No death threats.
no, it was all good. Everyone's pretty cool. I think it's more of the big shots where you'll start getting those, to be honest. But
Oh, really?
I don't know. I have no idea, to be honest. I mean, I think they only show up if you start getting, as you say, political or anything else like that. So,
Yeah.
So, hope that answers the question. But I guess got anything else?
No, that's I think it's.
All right. So go ahead and jump to the last one.
Oh yeah. Wait. I got one. What are your pronouns?
You mean pronouns?
Your pronouns. What are they?
Just he, me, myself, and I. That's all it is.
My pronouns are godly forbidden, he, she, be, he, d, like dick.
Oh my gosh. I don't know, this sounds like more like we're trying to make a computer profile or something. I don't know. So
Decoded computer profile.
wow. I don't know. Am I going to be arrested if I pronounce your pronoun wrong?
Why are you assuming that?
Because I think that's what happens in Canada. Because
Really?
I think if you pronounce it wrong, I don't know if they'll arrest you or fine you. I mean, that's
Wow. So no wonder South Park makes fun of Canada.
I think they make fun of it for different reasons, but yeah, it's along those lines. Because a lot of people don't seem to like Trudeau anymore. So
Wow.
I would say maybe check it out. Maybe do some research into it because
I
that's
will.
just speculation. So yeah,
I will.
but really,
Money with my interest.
yeah. But in all seriousness, though, in terms of pronouns, I just stick with he. That's really it. That's my gender. That's all it is. I mean, keep it simple, folks.
And
I mean, if you want to joke about it or do something with computer-wise, I mean, sure. I mean, fine, we'll goof around with it. So, but don't take it seriously. I mean, just joke about it.
We just joke about it. Boys and girls, or whatever you are, we just joking.
It's you, he, she, and I. So,
And, and they, them, zir, tier, weird.
whatever next. Whatever next.
Yeah.
Help us. So,
God help us, yeah.
yeah.
I think I need to build an ark. I know, like the Noah's Ark.
Is it too much to ask for? A little precipitation?
Just in case another flood is coming ahead of us.
That'd be called global warming, as I think they like to warn you about.
Yeah, I heard about global warming. Do you think it will happen sometime soon that we get overflooded from the ice? What I hear, because the ice starts melting and the ocean, rises up.
I'm honestly not too sure. I'm what you would call an agnostic in terms of global warming or climate change, for that matter. I think something's happening, but trying to say like you want to get rid of, just say, oil products or anything related to oil, I don't think is really the answer per se. I think there's a lot of solutions you really could and make the air clean and everything. So nobody really wants to find a compromise on that.
But what's the thing that you say air pollution? China is the most polluted country in the world. Have you seen?
Yeah, Beijing and everything. Yeah, with the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. And people are still walking with the mask because the air is really. You can get lung cancer easily over there.
Oh boy. Yeah, it's just a lot of cool. I mean, they're so focused on just work. I mean, no work and no play makes Johnny a dull boy.
Modern slavery.
Basically, yeah. No chains, more mental chains, if we like to call it that.
Mental chains, yeah, exactly.
You can see what I mean. I don't know. I mean, I hope that answers your question because I honestly don't know.
Same. Let's see. Maybe Greta will have some solutions.
Flying in her air polluting jet coming to the US.
She's my idol.
Actually, I have to say, man, the right definitely makes fun of her the most. I guess because she tends to be a little bit of a hypocrite at times.
Of course she's a hypocrite. She's a child. I mean, on children sometimes hypocritical?
Pretty much.
First they want to be a doctor, and then later they want to be something else.
I mean, yeah, it happens. I know that happened to me. So, I mean, that could probably happen to you too.
Yeah, of course. I wanted to be a firefighter, but I ended up being a security guard. So yeah,
And a rapper.
and a rapper, of course.
It
And
all worked out in the end, yeah.
Yes, and also I am, stalking Billie Eilish sometimes.
Yeah.
Just
I'll get a restraining order pretty soon, yeah. So.
Yeah, I'm from the psych ward, but it is what it is.
Sadly. All right, fair enough. All right. Did you have anything else?
Nah, I'm good.
All right. We'll go ahead and jump to this question here, and here's the last one for you. You might have harped on it a little bit too, but I always like to ask this too because I like to get people's 2 cents on it. But given what COVID has done, obviously it looks like you've hit rock bottom, and it seems you've been clawing your way back up to the top and everything too. But for those musicians who have been impacted by COVID or anything else in their lives, what sort of message of hope could you give to musicians and people out there as we try to move forward in the post-COVID world?
In terms of connecting with musicians, it was actually not that bad, because through social media, you can always interact with them, you can FaceTime, Skype, Facebook Live, and everything. And but it did do a big damage money-wise, the income-wise. They could not get anything because you couldn't go performing, you couldn't sell your merch, even though they could sell merch in online shops, when they did that. But in performing wise or something like that, it was a horror because the government told us we should stay in the houses, lock ourselves down. And this is also how the streaming services came around, like Hulu, I don't know, whatever, Paramount Plus, HBO Plus, Disney Plus, goddamn home. So, because during COVID, I could still record my songs. Of course, I cannot say, let's say we broke some laws to get our income. And I will not elaborate more. That's it.
Sorry if I were still going there, but spoke like a true prodigy. All right, sounds good. So
we gotta feed our families.
Yeah, and actually I do know a story. A guy who, way back in the day, I was talking about Jeremy earlier. I think he said he was trying to illegally import absinthe because I think it was not legal at the time. So
yeah,
so. Had to make do. Or got a little thrill out of it too, along with the money. So I can see why. So, okay. So Moreno, we've reached the end of my podcast right here, and boy, we talked for a good hour and 30 or so minutes. But I guess before we close, got any shout outs? Any final words you want to say before we close for the fans?
Yes, I want to shout out to my girlfriend. I want to shout out to Daniela, my manager. I want to shout out to All Day Hip Hop. He's the YouTuber who always reacts to my music whenever I release it. I want to shout out to King Handsome and all these guys who are featured on my album. And shout out to you, Brian. Thank you for having me here. You are amazing. And wow, we talked over half an hour, over 1 hour and a half. Crazy.
Like 1 hour and a half. So yeah, not half an hour.
Yeah,
half an hour is only 30 minutes. So yeah,
I mixed it so.
No, you're good. You're good. It's all good there too. And I guess just for the audience, can you just say what social media you're on as well as streaming, so they can check out your music and maybe reach out and chat?
Yeah, so you can reach me on Instagram, Skindevil, and you can also reach me on Facebook, Skindevil Entertainment, and Spotify is just Moreno. And you can also reach me on TikTok, Moreno Skindevil. Every time I post, when I record songs on studios, the studio session is on TikTok. So yeah, you can check it out.
I did to say about TikTok. Did Austria ban TikTok yet? Because I think they're working on that in the States.
Yeah, I heard that only in the US they're banning it. I have no idea how the Europeans are reacting to it, or if they're ever gonna ban it. I don't know. I really don't know. But I can tell you for sure we are still using TikTok because my girlfriend, she's just watching those crazy ass TikTok videos very loud.
All right, remains to be seen. We'll see what happens, but here's hoping. All right. So everyone, my guest today was Moreno Skindevil, hailing from Austria, Vienna, Austria, to be more specific. And,
yeah.
Yep. Go check out his music right here. This guy does some pretty dark stuff, but nonetheless, strap yourselves in, folks. You're in for a nice ride with this one. So let's go support this guy right here. Go hit him up on socials. Go check him out on streaming platforms. Let's help a brother out right here. So right now, thank you again so much again for coming on. You stay safe. Viel Glück.
Bye.
Auf Wiedersehen, meine Freunde.
Wiedersehen, mein Freund.